Hi guys, I hope everyone's doing really well. My name is Saurabh Mutha and I'm part of the Yashas team on Unacademy. Yashas brings to you lectures for CA Final Foundation as well as CA Inter. And today's session is a quick 15-minute session on something that is really special for CA Final students. If you're a CA Final student and you've taken the International Tax Elective Paper 6C, or even if you've not taken it and you're looking at international tax in paper 7, that is DT, this 15-minute short video is going to be really helpful to cover some nice concepts. I'm going to tackle a very important concept and I'm going to give you a nice shortcut to remember that concept in the next few minutes. But before that, let me show you what we've been doing at Unacademy, the entire Yashas system. So we at Yashas, along with Unacademy, have brought to you a fast track batch for December 2021 students. We are with you with this fast track batch. Although while we speak today on the 29th of September, this fast track batch is already underway. It's for both CFN Group 1 and Group 2. But as you know, Unacademy gives us the convenience of watching recorded lectures, and hence you could watch this. Use the code Yashas to subscribe and to get multiple benefits out of this subscription. Just telling you some more details. There are some very good educators for Group 1 as well as for Group 2 to cover your concepts and to give you absolute clarity in your CA final exams. You have live classes in case you tune into them, but in case you're busy, you can also watch unlimited recorded lectures. You can watch so many educators per subject so that you can choose the educator that suits your style of learning. And of course, some star learners of the previous years are here before you, and they've done great for themselves in the CA final exams, and I'm sure so will you. Use the code Yashas to get some discounts, to get extended subscriptions and more benefits on Unacademy. Yashas and Unacademy have made sure that you guys have a really smooth run at your CA final exams. And now over to the small concept that I was talking about. Let me explain to you what that concept is. But before that, let me give you also an understanding of where we are and what are we trying to do. This session is a very short session. This is for CA final students. And whether you've taken paper 6C, that is International Tax Elective, or you are just a student who's not taken that elective, but of course everyone has to give paper 7, this one is going to be useful for both of you. This one is a really small concept and it gives you a shortcut, and that shortcut I'm just going to teach you how to understand that shortcut and then we will move ahead. First shortcut is section 6.1, which is absolutely now important. I'm going to give you a shortcut there, and then of course in your scope of income I'm going to give you a shortcut there. So 2 shortcuts waiting for you in the next few minutes. Let's look at the scope of income shortcut first. Guys, in the scope of income in your exam, whether it is paper 7 or paper 6C, they will tell you whether the person, whether it's an individual or it's a partnership firm or the HUF or it's a company or it's a trust, they will tell you whether the person is a resident or a non-resident. If they don't, you will have to find out whether the person is a resident and a non-resident. My session is not about finding it out. My session is after you finish finding it out whether that person is a resident or a non-resident, which incomes are taxable. In a resident, you may have a resident and ordinary resident and resident and not ordinary resident as well. So this is what they will either give you or they will have to find it out in the exam. But the next step is, after this, they will say that Mr. Shivam has a lot of incomes or PQR Limited has a lot of incomes. Which incomes will be taxable? That is what I want to tell you. For a non-resident, did you know that only their dear income is taxable? Only their dear income is taxable, and that, guys, is a shortcut which I have brought for you. Very simple shortcut, but that will really prove a lot, very important in the exam. So if you're a non-resident, which kind of income is taxable in your hands? Only dear income. And what do I mean by dear income is what I'm going to explain. R means received in India. And when I say received in India, it means received in a bank account in India, received in cash in India, not received abroad and sent to India, not remittance. I'm talking about the first receipt. And if it is received in India, then India says, even if you're a non-resident, this is dear income because R is received in India. I'm going backwards. Next, if it is accruing in India, what do you mean by accruing? This word called accruing? Guys, accruing basically means something that you have is basically something you worked for. It should be paid to you or it should be earned by you, but not today. Example, today is the 29th of September. Let's say you were in a job from the 1st of September till 29th of September. You worked hard in your job. You deserve the money. So this salary is accruing to you, but you not earned it because you earn it when it is due to you tomorrow. That is 30th September. So accruing basically is income which is supposed to be earned by you, but till now it has not been paid to you or payable to you. So that is accruing. Interest income before the due date of payment of interest, or salary income before it becomes due to you, is accruing in India. Next is E. It is earned in India. Earned basically means that someone, like after 29 September comes 30th September, and when becomes the income, the salary incomes becomes due to you, that means becomes payable to you. Then in that case, it becomes earned in India. So they are linked to each other. Yes, first it is accruing and then it is earned. And if both of them or even one of them happens in India, then you'll be taxable in India. And last is D. There are 8 incomes which the Indian government feels that they should be taxed in India. So we have created a special section called section 9(1) deemed income, where we take those 8 incomes and we bring them and tax it in India. These are called deemed incomes. So if you're a non-resident in your examination question in December or May or December or May, whenever guys, their income concept will remain constant, and their income says that only these incomes will be taxable. So the moment they give you in the exam 10, 15 incomes, do not worry. Every time, just check for DEAR income. If it's DEAR, then it means taxable in India. Also, let me give you a small candy, a small bonus shortcut. If there is a question on TDS, let's say they say there's a company called XYZ, which wants to sell some things abroad, and they have a sales consultant abroad. And they are paying to the sale consultant, they are paying 5 lakh rupees. Will there be any TDS on this 5 lakhs? And you wonder what to do. I'll tell you. This sale consultant is a non-resident. So for him, only DEAR income is supposed to be taxable. This 5 lakh is not received in India. It is not accrued in India. It is not earned in India. It is not even deemed to accruerize in India because the work is happening abroad completely. So this one is not DEAR. And the moment it is not DEAR, it is not taxed or not taxable, and hence there is no TDS. So DEAR income is not only used for taxing the income, but it also used to understand when to deduct TDS and when not to deduct TDS. Perfect. Next, guys, is ROR. In case of ROR, unfortunately, the moment you become a resident, an ordinary resident, your entire global income becomes taxable in India. That means your entire global income, wherever you earn it, whether it is DEAR, whether it is non-DEAR, whether it is any income, if it's income, it's taxable. Not remittance, only income, it is taxable. But there are some rare cases where you're a resident, but you're not ordinary resident. In that case, which incomes are taxable? Very, very simple. DEAR income is taxable +1. So hence RNOR is very similar to an NR because DEAR income plus just one more income is taxable. Let me talk about what this one more income is here. So even for an RNOR, only DEAR income, yes, even for an RNOR, only DEAR income is taxable. But there is one more income which becomes taxable, which is a PGBP, basically a business or profession that is carried on abroad. Example, you have a business abroad, you have a profession abroad, you have anything that is abroad from which you get any business and professional income, and that is being controlled from India. And if it is being controlled from India, then for an RNOR, it will become taxable. I hope you understood this shortcut, guys. The shortcut is DEAR income, the shortcut is DEAR +1, and the shortcut is global income. All three are shortcuts. Please understand DEAR income well. If you're looking at what is deemed income, I've also recorded on Unacademy. I have a lecture which talks about what is deemed income. The very nice shortcut even for that. And if you're looking for my regular lectures or my fast track course, watch out for the other lectures on Unacademy as well. Perfect. So this is a shortcut for scope of income. Very interesting, done and dusted. Now, let me introduce you to a shortcut which I have in section 6.1. Guys, for 6.1, which is residential status for individuals, you know there are basic condition 1, basic condition 2, additional condition 1, additional condition 2. So many additional basic conditions. How do you remember the symbols? And that's for that I've made a shortcut here. Basic condition 1 is when your stay in India during the previous year is greater than or equal to 182 days. The symbol is 1 greater than or equal to 182 days. Basic condition 2, if it's applicable, the stay in India in the previous year is greater than or equal to 60 days. What is the shortcut here? The shortcut is a symbol. Guys, watch out the symbol. The symbol is constant throughout. And stay in the last 4 years. That means ignore this year and before that, ignore the year you are in, that is the previous year, before that 4 years, greater than or equal to 365 days. Watch out for the symbol, guys. The symbol is constant everywhere. These are the 2 basic conditions. If you fulfill any of them, you will become a resident. And once you become a resident, you have to do additional conditions. Watch out for the symbol for additional conditions. Additional conditions take you in flashback mode. They take you many years back. The first one, in the last 10 years. That means not this year. This year is called the previous year, so not this year, but before that 10 years. That means you have to really go into flashback mode, but don't worry, the symbol is the same. Were you a resident in greater than or equal to 2 years? Symbol is the same, guys. Were you a resident? That means ROR or RNOR, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter whether you're ROR or doesn't matter whether you're RNOR, but as long as you're a resident for greater than or equal to 2 years, you in the last 10 years, this condition will be fulfilled. And the second additional condition is in the last 7 years. Again, guys, flashback mode. First was 10 years, this is 7 years. Your stay in India is greater than or equal to 730 days. So we've not done anything different, guys. These are the same conditions. I've only tweaked it, only tweaked it for the symbol greater than equal to, greater than equal to, greater than equal to, greater than equal to, greater than equal to. So you don't have to worry ever about whether it was greater than, whether it was less than, whether it was equal to. No, you don't have to worry because everything here is greater than or equal to. So no matter what, whether it is the Prime Minister of India or whether it is you or whether it is me or whether it is some foreign cricketer, doesn't matter whose residential status you're checking, you will ask them basic conditions and additional conditions. And for that, the symbol is always and always greater than. The only thing is in the Finance Act 2020, they made a small amendment and where they said that if it's an Indian citizen or a PIO who has Indian income greater than 15 lakhs, then basic condition 2 will apply with certain restrictions. As here, the symbol is greater than, I could not change it here. So hence the only exception is this one. In the Finance Act 2020, they said that Indian citizen or PIO having income greater than 15 lakhs. This is the only exception to this case. So that is the shortcut, guys. My entire portion of international tax elective, as well as DT, as well as anything to do with tax, everything I do with shortcuts like these so that your portion gets done well, you can memorize better and you can retain better. All these shortcuts are very helpful one day before the exam, because that time when you have some streamlined sections, dear incomes, greater than or equal to same symbols, these really help one day before the exam. I hope you understood this well. I hope to see you guys on Unacademy. Subscribe, use the code Yeshas to subscribe and get all the benefits of all the top educators there from the Yeshas team. Has been my time. Thank you so much. I will see you guys on the Unacademy app really, really soon. Have a great day ahead.